So everybody, what is going on? This is my homie Zach Mead, good friend of mine. We've done some partying together, some working together, done lots of events and stuff, hanging out with each other. Another creator from Lethbridge. So I guess where do we start? I can give you guys a little rundown on kind of what I'm doing. So those of you who don't know, there's this video challenge called the 30 Dailies. I started it back in June of last year. I know I've talked about this a lot, so I'm not going to bore you guys with the details about this, but we did a video challenge where you had to post a video every single day for 30 days. And that was insane, exhausting. I learned so much. It obviously wasn't too hard though, because I did it again and again. And here I am doing it one last time. No, definitely not the last time, but doing it again for sure. This time around, I'm doing it a little bit differently. We're going to go with live streams this time. So that's going to switch it up a little bit, change things, trying something new, kind of breaking the boundaries, pushing my limits. I don't like being on camera, but here we are trying to learn and figure that out and talk and whatnot. But Zach is also doing 30 dailies right now. He's on day 7, I believe.
Day 7, yeah. This is day 7. Tomorrow will be day 8.
Nice. One week in. So I got a video here for you guys that I want to show. It is Zach's video number 1, which I thought would be the perfect intro to kind of what he has going on. So I'm going to plop it up on the screen here.
For those of you.
And then I got to share this with him so that he can see it. All right, here we go. Okay, so let's give this a quick playthrough. That's a great thumbnail, man. I wish you could like fix that all the time, you know? But it's not how it works.
Yeah, it's my permanent face.
All right, let's play his intro video so you can kind of see what he's all about.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Zach Mead. I'm a creator from Lethbridge, Alberta. I'm doing the 30 Dailies Challenge starting today, April 1st. I've only made a handful of videos in my entire life, so I'm super nervous about this, but I'm also super excited. It's during a pandemic, so I never know what to expect. Let's just go for it. Peace.
Dude, I'm still so stoked on that.
Who won?
No, that was killing it. That was real good, dude. So I want to hear, before we jump into too much, let's talk a little bit about you in video. I kind of wanted to know, when did you start in video production?
Yeah, I started last year, but very, I didn't make too many videos last year. It was mostly client work that I was doing at my job. I worked for Epiphany Group. So I did a bunch of marketing for smaller businesses in town, and lots of the video work that I did was just kind of corporate stuff, nothing too exciting, lots of talking head stuff. So I didn't have too much creative freedom on that, but this year I've really started to push that forward, and I've wanted to create more after seeing more, really creative cinematic sequences. And
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. No, dude, you've gotten so good in such a short amount of time. If my video looked like that after doing this for about a year, I don't even know, man. That's crazy. No, I'm stoked on you. I've been stoked on everything. And I remember you hitting me up from the start. So you were like, dude, I know I can do this, and I know I'm going to be good at this. And I was like, yeah, no, I feel that. And like you proved it so fast, and that's why I think I wanted to talk to you and bring you on here and include you in things that's going on, give you the spotlight for a little bit.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, as well as like just talk to you and kind of figure out what your process looks like on something like this. So before we get too into it as well, I know lots of people are going to want to know what camera you use and why.
Yeah, so man, for the longest time I was using a Nikon D750. And when I bought that camera, I was super excited about it because it was a full frame camera, like fairly expensive for being a 6-year-old camera. And I thought the video would be good on it, but I just didn't know that much about video, and it wasn't. The autofocus wasn't there. The low light performance wasn't as good as it should have been. The images just looked soft. I don't know. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was the camera. So just recently I ended up upgrading to a Nikon Z6.
Nice.
So that's their first mirrorless camera, and the video capabilities on that thing are amazing. Like, I'm blown away by that camera. I don't even want to put it down.
I remember reaching out to you before, telling you to do 30 dailies for a long time, and you were like, dude, I need a better camera.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, man, just use the one you got. Like, come on, just use the one you got. And then you got this new camera. I see your first video, and I was like, damn, he needed a better camera. Like, I'm all for the argument of like gear doesn't matter, but that's not always the case for everything, especially depending on where you're at, right? Like,
yeah, and like I had all of these ideas in my head that I wanted to shoot, but it just, honestly, it was so difficult with something that didn't have the autofocus that it needed to.
Yeah.
And like running that thing on a gimbal, like you had to have the servo follow focus in order to, you know, follow your subject, but it didn't have focus peaking, so it was really hard to like see what you were actually focusing on. Like, it was just difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Chris is in our chat live, and he says gear matters, people lie.
Yeah,
it's true.
Definitely.
I feel like that's something that people say, people that have equipment say that so that they don't get judged for having that stuff and to make people feel better. But you know, things change. I don't want to talk too much about that because it's not the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what else? So I kind of wanted to know what made you want to do 30 dailies this year, and like specifically right now.
I honestly, I mean, getting a new camera, I wanted to challenge myself. I knew that I could make these videos. I had all of these ideas. I've been watching YouTube like religiously on, you know, making videos, and I've just been watching all of these cinematic B-roll sequences, and I wanted to try it because I've tried my hand in photography, and I'm not saying photography is bad in any way, but I feel like, and this could be my own personal opinion, that most people that are like posting nowadays are like trying to make photography accounts on Instagram, and I sort of want to stand out now.
Right, I feel that.
You know, because I tried photography and it's super fun, and I still do it all the time. I love taking pictures, but now I want a new challenge, and making videos is that challenge. So
what's the challenge making videos compared to photo? How hard is it? What's the comparison for you?
I think it's the time that it takes. Like, it's not just going out and like having a good shoot, coming back, editing, you know, one banger to post on Instagram, and you spend 2 hours on editing that banger. Like, it's you shoot for 3 hours on something, and then you get back and you edit it for 4, and then you wake up the next day and you hate what you edited, so you edit it for another 5. You know? Yeah,
no, I know exactly what you mean. I always used to be like, I didn't want to discredit photographers, but I was like, man, that's so much easier than video. Like, not even just, like you said, not even necessarily just easier. It's just the time. Like, the time is so hard. It's just such a different jump, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, yeah, and like I started my photography career because I worked at McBain Camera. And I worked there, is the local camera shop here in Lethbridge. And I worked there for, you know, a good 4.5 years. And I learned so much about photography and cameras while I worked there. And, you know, people would always come in and ask about video stuff, and I just didn't have the answers for them because I never dabbled in it. So right. Nice. So like, I know I brought up 30 dailies to a few other people because since you wanted to do it, you said that I kind of wanted to get involved. Obviously, it's hard to watch everyone do it and not participate because I want in on that fun so much. Mm-hmm. I reached out to lots of people, but everyone they wanted to do it because they had the time, but they were reluctant to do it because they didn't have stuff to shoot. They were like, we don't have events, and this isn't all happening, and this isn't all happening. So I kind of wanted to hear your opinion on that and why you decided to move forward with it anyways. You know, I had said I wanted to do 30 dailies in April, and then halfway through March, this virus started spreading and the university shut down and everything started happening. But I had almost made myself a promise that I was going to get this gear and I was going to do this challenge. And then once everything started hitting, I thought there's no better way to challenge myself than to, you know, be cooped up at home, but still have to make a creative video every single day. Yeah. And it's not necessarily that I have to, you know, create the next banger that's going to go viral on Instagram. Right. Like, some of the edits that I did only took, you know, the total video took 4 hours. Like, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be top-notch quality or production. Like, you just have to create something. It can't be. No, exactly. It's impossible to do that every day. Is that, you know, it was just a good way to keep my mental health in check
while being cooped up. You know, I have a reason to wake up every day. I work, and then after work, I'm, you know, at my house playing with my gear, shooting a new video, coming up with an idea.
Nice. No, dude, I love that. I think you kind of definitely inspired me to do this too. I know I didn't necessarily want to do it because I was like, you know what, this is like finally I get a little bit of, I might be able to get my head out of water right now. Like I might actually get some time to like get back. So I was like, you know, maybe I just want like those lazy days sitting at home, and I kind of just want that. But then I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna just do it anyways. And I know I'm gonna go overboard, even though I won't. I was like, streaming should be easier because I can, you know, on a bad day, I could just hop on my phone, go online for 20 minutes, go live about something. I don't always have to do something extravagant, but I was like, you know what, here I am. I spent so much time like building things for this stream that no one's ever really going to see or anything like that. I don't know, just being creative. And I've been inspired, and things are like doing well and looking up, and I feel like I'm thriving. So,
well, and that's
cool.
with me too. Like even though everything's kind of hitting the fan right now and shit's crazy, I have a lot to look forward to right now. And this challenge is one of those things. And I'm just going to like keep pushing that train forward.
Yeah, no, dude, that's wow, I really like that. That's super cool. If you're listening and for the replay, you should do 30 dailies. This is why you should do it. Listen to us. If we're gonna do it, Zach's gonna do it. We just got our backyards. No excuses. We're living in Alberta. If you don't know, Alberta is cold. It sucks. It just snowed. It's brown. There's nothing green outside. Like, it looks bad. You can't even like practice color grading or anything because it just looks like shit to start with. No, there's no excuses, and I like your drive on this one, and I'm excited to kind of catch up at the end of all this and see where you're at, and like what, you know, see how you think differently, if you still love it as much as you think you might right now.
Definitely still nervous about the coming 3 weeks. Like, I had prepared, I think it was 3 or 4 videos before I started the challenge, so that I could go into it, post a video, film a video that day, but still have like 3 videos locked and loaded ready to post in case I didn't, you know, make a video to post. But now I'm out of videos. So every single day now I have to make one. That's
what I did. Every time I went in on 30 dailies, I was like, okay, this is going to be the one that like I'm going to prepare and like have stuff ready and like be like multiple days ahead. Because the first time I did it, I was actually like a day ahead. So I would shoot, say I would shoot on Monday, edit Monday night, post on Tuesday morning, and like get kind of in that train. That felt really good, but it took like a week for me to fall off that train. And then like getting back ahead is like, there's just no way. It's so difficult.
Well, and Easter Monday is coming up, so I want to I want to film 2-3 videos on Easter Monday, so hopefully I can get that done. But
yeah, and sometimes you just need like a quicker one, or like one easy one, or one kind of cop out. I think is totally okay, right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's just as long as you're challenging yourself. That's kind of what I said, because when we first did it, people asked about rules, and I was like, you know what, we don't really have rules. Like, my rule is you're doing this for yourself. Like, you're the only one getting anything out of this, so whatever you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. But if you're going to go through all the work, you know, why not go all the way? Like, why not push yourself? It'd be like going out for a run and then being like, oh, I just don't want to run. Like, you run more than you have in your entire life, but you don't want to do one more minute to break the record or the goal or something like that, right? Like, that stuff kind of drives me crazy. So nice. Let's see what else. So I want to ask you, kind of like, you're a week in right now, what has changed in maybe like your workflow or your schedule already? How are you like managing this? Do you notice that like do you have less free time? Are you like,
I mean, not even. And this might be different if I was able to leave my house and go and sit at OJ's and have a jug of beer right now, you know, then I would probably be doing that instead of, you know, streaming somebody. But having said that, like, if I wasn't doing this, I would just be sitting upstairs hanging out with my roommates. Like, I wouldn't be doing anything that's productive and pushing me forward.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
But honestly, man, I've still been getting into my bed and falling asleep by, 1 a.m. every night just because I have to get up and work at 8:30. Like, I'm still working full time, and I'm graduating university this semester. So I'm just
Dude, you're crazy. That. What are you graduating with?
I'm going to have a Bachelor of Management for Marketing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. That's what I was taking when I went there.
Yeah, which is another
Back in the
reason I
day.
want to make videos, is because I know that there's a huge market out there for making videos for small businesses, because
Yeah.
video content marketing is kind of like where online marketing is going. And I, you know,
1,000%.
yeah,
1,000%.
I know some ins and outs of marketing, and if I can add video creation to that, like,
Yeah, I find that too, like, because I'm kind of in the realm of marketing, and I found that marketing and video go together really well, because it's really hard to have a good video without the marketing side, with being able to like push your video out. I mean, it can still be good, but making sure that it's successful or kind of gets the message out, the marketing side of that is important to that, but also vice versa. When you're marketing, it's nice to be able to create nice video content yourself, so you can rely on that and make sure that the quality, that you're getting the quality you want, I guess, right? Like you get to maintain, you kind of have your fingers in it and have that control.
yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. So do you think we should watch a couple videos?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
All right. So I want to know, which video is your favorite? Let's start there.
There's a couple of them. I really like the one of me and my roommate making the old fashioned.
Yes.
That one and the coffee one, just something about those B-roll sequences with the fast transitions that you don't know what's happening in between the scenes, but all of a sudden it's something different happening.
Right.
I think that's going to be my favorite part of filmmaking. My inspiration for those videos was Daniel Schiffer on YouTube.
Yeah.
He's like that. It's definitely my favorite type of filmmaking. And I think that's where I see the video content coming into it for marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you can make, what I like about that style, when it being cinematic, is when you're lighting it and editing like that, there's a level of quality that comes there. So it looks of quality, but it's also just entertaining because of the fast pace and the movement, and you're trying to guess what happened next. You're not really exactly sure what's going. I'm a huge fan of camera movement. I think that like camera movement is one of the best things you could do. When I was doing my last little videos, even when I was shooting like a Instagram 360 stuff, it was lots of like moving in and out and moving around, I couldn't move the camera, so I was kind of doing that in the editing. But when I was filming with like even my camera and shooting like lots of vertical stuff, I noticed that the stuff that I was liking was all like camera movements, like actually moving it on site. But what kind of struggles come with that?
It's difficult to plan out.
Yeah,
like
so difficult.
Thinking over those transitions in your head, but being able to put that vision into your computer screen when you're editing while you're filming, like it's tough to do.
I think you got it right.
Yeah, thanks, man. And I feel like for your stuff, like when you're out shooting at Shambhala and you're carrying your red and you're whipping that thing around, like I don't know how you do it and like put those sequences together.
Just I shoot, like you would know, the hardest thing about that is, right, so what we're talking about is we're filming and you're taking your camera, and instead of just shooting a nice steady clip, we're like coming down up into it, continuing through, and then going back up, or like left and right. So rather than just getting static clips, we're including movement in kind of, especially like in the beginning and at the end of those clips, to kind of match them up with the next ones. And then what you can do is when you have one clip that ends moving down, if you have another clip that starts moving down, you can line those up and it looks almost seamless. Yeah. That's kind of what we're talking about, and that's the style that we're doing. And I'm stoked that you kind of dig that, because that's the same shit that I like too. Like that's what gets me excited. But it's hard, man. Like it's hard because you said, I like what you said, how you're filming and you're editing it at almost the same time, because you know what you need. So you're like, I'm going to come down, I'm going to need another clip to come down. And it's easy to plan in your head, but then when you get there and you're shooting something and it doesn't look the way you thought it was, you're like, oh man, everything just goes out the window so fast.
Yeah. And so what we did for that was we had written down all of the steps for making an old fashioned.
Yeah.
And then we kind of went step by step, and we would do each one and be like, okay, this movement is going to start, the video is going to start with me coming over the counter with my gimbal, and it's going to push forward. And then the next shot is going to be me pushing forward as you're grabbing a sugar cube. So it matches seamlessly to do that. And you have to think about each single one as you're doing it.
There's so much that goes into that.
And I think filming that one took us almost 2 hours.
Nice. Yeah,
maybe a bit more than that.
But it shows. Chris commented in here, he said Zach nailed it on the B-roll. So many people botch those type of sequences. His was very subtle and smooth. Yeah, man, that's why I'm stoked on you, to be honest, because I've seen a lot of videos of people trying that style because it's trendy right now, and most of them I watch and I'm like, oh man, this is terrible. And then I seen yours and I was like, fuck yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
All right, this is good.
Yeah.
No, I like that. Yeah, Christine said, I second that. Zach killed it.
Another comment to that is, I think people maybe rush through shooting.
Yeah.
And I think what's special about that technique is that you can do it, especially if you have a staged set, you can do it as many times as you want until you get that perfect shot where, someone grabs the lime and squeezes it and you get that focus as you're pulling past it. Like you can do it as many times as you want,
Well, and yeah, it's 100%, especially like focus is such a challenge when you're doing shit like this, especially when you're working with autofocus, because your autofocus can be all over the map. Sometimes it can be like next level, a pain in the ass, versus sometimes it just works so well, and manual focus can be a pain in the ass. So there's a time for both. Have you had to switch in manual focus at all for any shots, or have you lucked out?
Those the B-roll ones, those cinematic ones, both the coffee video and the old-fashioned video were all manual focus. There was not a single shot in there with auto. I
know you kind of get in that situation, and then you start thinking, you're like, I think I could do this better than the camera can do it, right? Yeah. No, I like that for sure. It's hard to rely on either.
On those cameras is great if you're doing gimbal work and you've got to, rip around and film.
Yeah, and exactly.
Talking head stuff, I think, is where that stuff shines.
But when you need to be specific, and especially when you're working with like a lower aperture lens too, because you want that separation with the blurriness and kind of the buttery look, right? But that makes it so much harder to shoot, especially handheld, moving forward and back, all that crazy shit. So I want to play a video. Which video was your favorite?
Do the
bartend one?
Yeah, do the old-fashioned one.
The old-fashioned one? All right. Let me pull this up here, share it with you so that you can see what we're talking about. All right, let's give this one a full walkthrough. That's nice. Nice. Yeah, dude, this is really good. I really like this.
Yeah, that was fun to film.
I think like my favorite transition is this one right here.
Yeah.
That comes from you just because it comes totally out of nowhere, right? Like, because I don't know what's going to happen next at all. And then we get that roll down to here. I think I really liked that one, actually. Which was your favorite transition that you did in this video?
It's either that one or the one where he spins the shaker.
Oh, that was
it transitions downwards.
Yeah. Dude, I really like that. I like the up and then the down.
Yeah. That
follows that movement. Yeah, I think for people that are watching, like, something really important for this stuff is that like matching your movement with the movement that's happening of your subject. I think a lot of people get caught up in like they're looking for those whip transitions and like those pan transitions, of what they're forgetting is that it should go in line with what's happening to kind of create that seamless effect and just feel more natural. And I think you were really good at doing that, like with the knife coming through and like the sugar like coming in and out and stuff. That looked really good.
Yeah, and there were even shots that we had filmed that I wanted to put in this, and there's just not enough time, and like if I'm posting it on Instagram, it has to be a minute.
Well, that's the other thing. How do you feel about the minute time limit?
Difficult.
Yeah, it's hard.
I think that's because most of the videos that I had made before this were talking head, corporate.
Yeah.
So like 2 to 3 minutes kind of deal.
Yeah. I feel like because of the realm that you're in, that comes from the marketing side, so you're like the content that you're going to be producing for companies. I think that you're going to be working with those time restrictions often, which is why this is going to be a really good process for you, because I learned so much about learning how to cut down a video when I did 30 dailies. Like at first I'd be like, oh, a minute is so long, and then you get your timeline down and you're like, a minute is what is that, like 12 5-second shots?
Yeah.
Right? So you take it down to there and you're like, oh shit, like 10, like, and then you want to have like a 5-10 second intro. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Which for Instagram, like I for some reason, when I started making videos, I got in this notion that every single video needed to start with like a black screen with text fading on, or like a logo fading on, not just jumping straight into the action. Right. But I think with Instagram, because it's such a visual platform, you have to grab their attention right as soon as they get to your video.
Yeah, totally. No, you're right. And I even in lots of like my corporate stuff, I don't put logos in the video at all until the end, because people don't like to be sold stuff all the time. As soon as they know it's an ad and there's a logo in, it's corporate-y produced, they may not like feel the same about it. That's important. But also, like you were saying, grabbing attention, like especially on Instagram with the minute. I learned one thing that I did actually that worked really well was I would edit the video with the intro that I wanted, and I would go to the end. And then what I would do is I would actually chop the intro, like the first 15 seconds off the front of the video, and I would tag it on the end of the video.
Cool.
So then what would happen is the intro would actually kind of be at the end, and I would mesh the audio. But what it would do then is it would loop seamlessly. So like they would watch the video completely through once, and then the intro would come in, and that would like seem like it was still part of the same video. And they'd watch the intro, and then it would get back into the video, and they'd watch it again, and then you're almost like, yo, shit, did I just watch that more than once? Idea. Yeah, you should try that. I
definitely will.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did, and I just started taking that, cutting that intro, like editing it with it and the music and everything, and then just like chopping it at like the 25 or like 15% mark, like 15 seconds or whatever, taking that to the end, and then just mixing your audio at the end and at the original ending and the original intro at the end there, so they mesh. Yeah, you should try that. I noticed that worked really well, and it allowed me to kind of get most of the action in the first 5 seconds. So I would do like a 5-second build up to the drop of a song or something. Yes, sneaky. It is a little sneaky. Oh, we got helps to have a sick bartender in the chat. Sounds like the roommate, eh? Shout out to all those people that help us film this shit, though, honestly.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know what I would film if I didn't have people. Like, my girlfriend helped me with one.
Yeah.
Joel helped me with one. My other roommate, Sydney, helped me with the yoga one. My cats helped me, like, you know?
Yeah, but that's why it's back to what I've been saying a lot, is just it's important to surround yourself with the right people. And, you know, those people that are helping you create and pushing you to be better, and they're probably, you know, kind of pushing you, telling you this was awesome, this wasn't as good, like, you know, just guiding you to the right spot. It's super important to have those people, especially those who give time for you to just create, you know? I think that's super important.
I totally told people to hold me accountable.
Yeah, you know? Good. Like, you need it, man. It's essential, because there will be a point in the 30 days where you're just like, all right, you know what, I'm done. Like, you're not even just, you're just like, man, this is so sucky. But then someone will be like, I've already seen you've had some comments of people just being like, yo, can't wait to see your next video. Like, how encouraging is that?
Yeah, someone said that they were, I think it was my buddy Bryce. He said, I'm looking forward every day to waking up and like watching one of your videos. I was like, okay, that's sweet.
Dude, that's cool. And that's, even me today, I went on and I looked, and actually, it was so funny because I was up all night last night working. I was up till like 5 a.m. I watched your video early this morning, and then today I was just sitting here loading your stuff up. I couldn't remember. I was like, did he post another one today, or was that the only one? And I looked. It was 8 hours ago, and I was like, oh, shit, that's the only one. And I was like, how funny is that? I'm already like looking forward to the next one. I want to see like what else you're going to do for 30 days.
Yeah, and you know, I have plans, but I don't really know if those plans are going to pan out.
Right, yeah.
Because I think every day I get 5 or 6 new ideas in my head that I could do that day, and then I kind of just.
So how are you staying organized?
I I have this little Populous notebook that I write down all of my ideas.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Dude, it's so hard. Like managing, say, like 50 ideas and then let alone trying to schedule them in. Yeah. And especially when you're working too, right?
I had like a little calendar that I was saying, okay, today I was going to post this video and then I was going to film this one so that tomorrow I can post this one and then film this next one. And I'm still doing that, but it's getting harder. And even tonight, like, you know, I wanted to film a video and I had an idea, but this live stream was just such a good idea for doing the 30 dailies and something that I haven't ever done before.
Right.
So it was also just a great idea to do this as one of them because they don't all have to be the same. They don't all have to be a cinematic B-roll sequence. I think the whole thing of this challenge is just to make something every day for 30 days.
Exactly. And try new things. I found that like, I think my favorite part was just that the challenge gave me an excuse to try all the things that I had kind of considered before, but I was like, no, that doesn't really work with like my brand or like my Instagram page. Like that doesn't make sense, or like why, I don't know, or like just waiting or being like, I'll get a job one day like that and I'll do it when I get the job. That all goes out the window when you do the 30 dailies and you're like, all right, any idea that I have, like let's bring it in and make it happen, right? That's kind of like my favorite part about it. It's just you never know what you end up doing, what you end up shooting. Stuff comes up, things change. I feel like you learn endless stuff.
I'm already looking forward to, because like I have to work all day tomorrow and I have to do some school stuff tomorrow night. So I'm thinking like, should I wake up at 5:30 tomorrow and like just film quickly my idea at my house and then have a shower and then start my day? Crazy people wake up at 4 a.m. and go and work out. Like I can film a video, right?
Might be the only way to get it done, man.
Yeah.
It'll come to it. I remember the one time we were going, I was like traveling. I was in Vancouver and then I was in Calgary and we were going all over the place and like trying to edit the videos while traveling was too hard. So I was like editing them at night when everyone else slept and they were finally like leaving me alone. I would get my edits done, but then like come the morning, I'd be so dead tired, but it's like, we got to make a video plus like the job that I have and everything else I needs to get done anyways.
And it's tough. That balance of work and play and how far are you willing to push your personal self and your personal brand to for a challenge. It is.
It's so hard, but the it's like everything that you put out is a representation of you and your work, so it's like you want to just go so hard on everything you do, but it's not always feasible, right?
Well, and I have some ideas, but I don't necessarily know if it's acceptable if I film them right now because of like everything going on. But realistically, I would be 6 feet from somebody. Like
No, I feel that. I've shot a couple things.
Yeah.
I think that if you do it safe. But I'm no expert, and so I don't know.
Me neither. And like, not to bring up this whole like crazy pandemic, but like I have asthma, so I definitely have a pre-existing condition. And considering that it's a respiratory illness, like going out to the grocery store makes me feel icky.
A little sketchy. Yeah, you can just work with what you have.
Yeah.
Right. We're blessed to. I like considering the fact that something really positive about us is that we are in a position where the given break that we have to have, even though we don't want, is giving us time to develop our and we can continue to work and develop on our creative sides. Right. There's a lot of people out there that are sitting at home being like, man, I should pick up a hobby, or I need something to do, or like, what am I going to do to kind of make up all my time? I feel very fortunate to have something that we can continue to do that we still love to do, that kind of keeps us busy or kind of keeps our mind sharp and keeps our creative sharp, let alone have jobs still. I know you said you're still working full time. I'm still working very much full time. It's good, man. I feel blessed to like be in the position that we're in. I think we're lucky.
Definitely, me too. And I think it's my personality that even if I didn't have this hobby, I would go outside and I'd find something else to keep myself busy, because I'm not the type of person to stay at home in sweatpants and eat chips
Do
and watch
nothing.
Netflix. That's just not who I am. Like
Nice.
I'm always watching YouTube, learning something. I'm always out doing something. I'm always out with friends. Like I'm always doing something, it feels like.
Yeah, I feel that. That's good. That's good though.
Yeah.
All right, let's queue up another video. Let's watch the coffee one.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like the coffee one is going to be your number 2, hey?
Yeah.
All right, let's cue this up in
But it's hard to choose. I like all of them almost except for the first one.
All of them except the first one.
Yeah.
Like the intro one, the one that we watched.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, let's play the second one here. Oh, I like that one though. That was good. Music is on point.
Well, that's another thing. You could spend 8 hours trying to find a song.
Oh man. 1000%. I like your speed ramping in this one.
Thank you.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah, there's quite a bit. And this was the first time I ever filmed anything like this.
Yeah, I remember you sending me this one a while back. Not a while back, like a week ago or whatever, but
Well, I think I was doing something at home and I texted my girlfriend and I said, do you want to shoot a video right now? I have the inspiration, like I want to do it.
Yeah, like let's just
She's
do
like,
it.
okay, let's do it.
Nice. No, dude, yeah, this is dope too. This is really dope. All right, so I want to hear about what was the hardest thing about this video.
I think the hardest thing about this one was getting like the lighting right, and then after the fact, like correcting the colors so there wasn't noise. Like I'm still trying to figure out my camera.
Yeah.
So this video, whenever I watch it, the only thing I see, I do like the edit, but the only thing I see is like the noise and the shadows and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not as clean of a picture as you would expect out of the camera that I'm shooting. And I think that's because I'm still learning and the
Right.
settings that I had just weren't right for the scene.
But you know what's so funny though, man? Not like one time when I watched this entire video was I like, oh, it's kind of noisy.
Really?
I'm telling you, I tell people this all the time. Like everyone who hits me up on Instagram, because I get lots of messages from people shooting like nightclubs and like that kind of scene stuff, because you're given really shitty, like terribly lit nightclubs.
Yeah.
Like just they're god awful to shoot in half the time. Like if they even have enough light. And people always are asking like, hey, how does it look so clean? Like my image is so grainy. Yeah, my image is grainy on my screen too, but when you're watching it on Instagram, you really don't see it. And also
That's true.
you're the only one who knows it. Yeah, Christine said look perfect to me. Like no one else is ever gonna look at this video and be like, oh, there's grain in there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that hits everyone at a certain point when they're kind of like doing their video career. And I know like many of my friends have done the same thing where it's like everyone reaches a point where you're like, it needs to be better, it needs to be higher quality, like this grain needs to get out of here. There's grain in everything. Yeah. And you're the only one who really notices that.
Yeah, and I think it's such a different beast with video compared to photo. Like you can with photo, you can crank your ISO, and post production you add some sharpening, add some noise reduction, and like you can make a pretty clean image where you don't see any noise and post that on Instagram. Yeah. Whereas I just feel like with video it's different, and I think that's because I didn't play with video that much. No, totally. Yeah, there's you gotta think of it as like a video is a bunch of pictures put together. Yeah. And then you start thinking about the amount of data that's included in every frame compared to a picture. It's so much smaller and it's so much more compressed. So you really can't push it near as far before the image starts to break away. Yeah. And I know you messaged me and you kind of asked me a little bit about low light stuff, and I kind of was bringing up the fact that lots of what you should do is you should be shooting brighter, even though you might be going up to a higher ISO, exposing a little bit brighter, and because it's easier to expose brighter and pull it down than it is to lift something up. So you can always darken something and kind of start to get rid of some of the noise and save the quality versus brightening something up. It's really hard to make things brighter than they were captured originally. So yeah. Have you noticed that at all recently? Yeah, a little bit. And the one that I just posted, it's like just some shots of my roommates against a black backdrop. If you want to fire that
this
up,
one right
actually.
Here.
Yeah, like that was shot. I had my studio, the Godox SL 60 watt, nice big studio light with a softbox against a black background, and I just exposed the ISO as high as I could for their faces,
Right.
and then just left so the black was, black.
Black,
and you don't see any grain at all.
No, it looks really good. No, I like this one. What did you you had a good caption with it today.
I think it just said noir.
Something about vibes.
Yeah, it did say noir, and then I just said I was trying to create a vibe because I just had this. I had this idea in my head, which was inspired by another videographer in Lethbridge. His name's, I think he's Gil _YQL.
Yes.
He's been doing lots of like studio work with lighting and girls and these nice like casted shadows, and it looks really good. So I thought I had this new light, might as well try and like do a studio session. Yeah,
very cool. Did you see his video? I think he had the one video for the Fashion Week that was like all pastel colors.
Yeah.
And kind of similar to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Very talented filmmaker.
Yeah, he no man, he's so good. He's definitely probably one of the top dogs in Lethbridge when it comes to film work and anything like that.
And I think
he knows so much, man.
I think the difference there is that he's nothing against trendy Instagram videographers. Like he's producing stuff that could be like commercials. Whereas
100%. He's dialed. Yeah, we did him and I both spoke at the college class one day, just about video production and being like an entrepreneur and owning your own business and stuff. And he spoke on the side of more film, and I spoke on the side of advertisement a little bit. And we were just comparing like the contrast between the different work that we do and the different styles, yet how they both serve different purposes, I guess. And it was pretty cool. It was cool to chat about.
For sure.
So I wanted to ask you about this video, this coffee one here still.
Okay.
You said the lighting was kind of the hardest part. What else? I noticed in here, I want to talk a little bit about your sound design.
Yes.
So I want to watch this again now that I brought that up, because if you're watching this, you should tune in and think about the sound design on this one. The sound design is everything when it comes to this. Obviously, the song choice was good, but the sound design, like, it literally brings like the feeling and the scene to life, and you can kind of like be a part of that environment and experience it. So I just want to play that back here. Even like the sound of the bag, Kringle opening. Oh, I love that one though. The grinder, the transitions. Nice. So how did you go about working with the sound on this one?
So originally it didn't have sound, and then I was kind of ready to post it, but then I was watching a bunch of stuff on YouTube and getting inspiration, and so many other people had been doing the sound design.
Yeah.
So, and then I have this nice Audio-Technica microphone that I can plug straight into my computer and record to GarageBand.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to go and grab a bag of coffee. I'm going to grab a mug, and I'm going to grab a French press and a grinder. And then just watch my video and try and recreate those sounds right in front of the microphone. And yes, I probably could have done it better and more thought out, but I just did it super quick. Like, it probably took me half an hour to record the sounds and put them in.
Right.
And it added so much depth to it. Dude,
it's insane. And it honestly doesn't even take that long.
Yeah.
It's almost like you'd have to watch it without the sound, any sound at first, and just watch it, and then like watch it with sound after. Because once you watch it with, like, when you're watching it and it has the sound, you almost don't even think about it. Like, it's kind of like a subliminal at the end that just like ties it and makes it feel very full.
Well, and I've even watched videos on YouTube that, like, someone will be doing a sequence going into like a snowboard shop, but there's a transition from when they go outside to inside, and instead of having no sound, like they add a sound of like the door dinging, like with the bell, as if someone went inside. And it's not like anyone's actually opening the door.
Yeah.
It's adding that like element.
The idea.
super cool.
Yeah, it's using your senses.
But then
and trying
even
to build
with that, like when I filmed or recorded the water being poured in, I had sent it to my girlfriend and she said, it sounds good, but I think the water is off. Like you should maybe put like a pitch shifter on it or like do something, because it just sounds like you're pouring water in, whereas it's in slow-mo. I had to like slow it down, and then I added a pitch shifter, and still it didn't sound perfect, but I was like, this is good enough. Yeah,
well then once you slap the music track on top too, it kind of hides a lot of those like imperfections.
Yeah.
No, nice work with the sound design. I think it's super important. I mean, I wish I did it all the time. I know I'll do a video, I'll be stoked on it, and then I'll sit there and I'm like, oh, I think I'm done. And then I'm like, man, should I add some sounds to this? I'm like, I know this would be better if I added sounds to it, but I thought I was done. Like, come on. No, I think it's super important.
Even between the transitions, like adding those.
Yeah, the whoosh sounds and everything.
That's important, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I wish more people had focused on that, and you did a really good job mixing them. Be careful of sound. I want people to be careful of sound effects that aren't mixed properly. Like when you watch it back, and if something stands out too much, you need to be careful, because you can kind of break that barrier of reality. Like how she was talking about, your girlfriend was talking about the water not sounding correctly. Something so small, but that's the one thing that could really stand out with someone. I do notice that like editing video is a lot of problem solving. How would you notice that? Like, I know, because when I'm going through, like when I get a first edit done, I pretty much roll through, and then the rest of the time is spent like, okay, this doesn't look right, that doesn't look right. Like, are you tweaking lots of stuff? Are you going back and watching through and changing stuff? Like you said, waking up the next day and not liking something. Like, how much are you changing?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. It definitely changes each video, but I would say that coffee one, I probably had 5 or 6 rounds of revision on that, just because like, you put together a sequence that sort of goes together with the track, and then after that you take a breather, you let your brain decompress for a bit, and then you come back and you actually line up those speed ramps perfectly to the music so that the clips line up, and then you start making sure those transitions actually look smooth. Right. I don't know, there's so many different aspects to video editing that it's hard to pinpoint where the problem solving needs to happen.
I know when people ask me questions, I'm like, oh man, I don't even know where to start. Like, it's a gigantic puzzle that you kind of have in your head, that you're kind of just working with, and you're just moving things and shifting things, and I mean, you get this all together, and then your client goes, oh, by the way, can we change the song? And you're like, man, I don't know. Or like, can we have this one shot 3 seconds longer? I'm like, it's cut the way it is for a reason. Trust me, every cut is in a specific place for a reason. They don't just randomly end up there. That's like,
but that's also the good part about making videos for my own creativity. Is that I don't have a client telling me that what I did wasn't what the video needed. Right. You know, like, this is my vision. I'm creating this. I get to choose the song. I get to choose the clips. I get to choose the lighting, the subjects, like everything.
And I think what I liked, kind of what's cool about that though, is like, you're a little bit more proud of it at the end, because then when you're putting out your work, like, this is, it's as best as you could do with what you were given to do. Versus sometimes I know I spend hours on a client project and then they change some things, and I'm like, you're making it not as good, but you have to answer to them in certain situations. And you're sitting there at the end of the project looking at it and you're like, man, I wish this could have just been done differently, but you have to work within the restraints. And that's like obviously a huge challenge as you kind of get going with that stuff. But
when I didn't necessarily know, what the typical revision process was, especially when doing client work. And so lots of the revisions that I've done have been like quite a few rounds of revisions, and it's not necessarily needed, but now we're learning more that like, okay, we produce a video that was the vision, and then we're going to have, 2 rounds of revision that are major changes. And that's it. And then it's to minor tweaks, and then that's like final video. Yeah,
exactly. Like having to stress to get those major changes done early on, so that like they don't come out.
It's never going to be perfect. No idea that you're ever going to think in your head is going to come out on the video exactly as you thought it was.
Yeah. Especially when there's multiple people involved, because it's really hard to get everyone's vision down on paper. So like people's expectations are kind of like, some people think it's going to be like this, you think it's going to be like this. So it's really, communication is key, especially in group settings.
Yeah, and I do think one of the biggest challenges for me in filmmaking is I need to be more confident in directing people and telling people what they need to be doing to make the shot look how it should.
Oh, 100%.
You know, rather than being like, okay, shake this person's hand and then trying my absolute best to like get that shot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But that just comes down
the way
to
you
like,
want it.
That just comes down to, you know, being confident, directing people, telling them that like, this is how it should be done. Experience.
Just say, yeah. And a lot of what I do is just like, oh, if it's done like this, it looks better. Or like, you know, trying to find some like, you know, I'm just trying to make you look as good as possible. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do another video. I want to know which was your least favorite. You said the first one, but I don't want the first one. Out of the other ones. What didn't turn out the way you thought it would turn out? Oh,
the what's in my bag one.
Yeah, I'll cue that up here.
These headphones are hurting my ear.
I know, that's why I wear these earbuds. It's just so much more comfortable for me. All right, what's in my bag? And don't get me wrong,
I'm super excited about how this one turned out.
Yeah, I thought it looked great. Nice. So what's wrong with it?
Okay, so it's completely not what my original idea was.
Right.
So I wanted to, you know, everyone makes these what's in my bag videos and they have some sort of clip or sequence where it's like a person opening up a bag and then the items pop out and there's like like you did one for yours.
Yeah, I did one. It
was
once,
like all glitchy and animated. It looked fantastic, and I kind of wanted to do something similar.
I spent way too long on that video. Let me tell you what, way too long for the 15-second loop that ended up being made. But
so once you get into After Effects,
oh man, it's a deep web. Like you just never know when to stop.
Yeah, but so my idea was that there was that table. I had this big black backdrop with the light shining towards it, this glass table, so it would have reflections. Yeah. And it was going to start with my camera bag against the lens, so it was black, and it pulls out with me running around the table and like sitting behind it. And I would kind of grab the bag, like look at it, do like something weird, and like throw it to the side. And as I threw it to the side, I'd like wipe my hand across the table, and like all of my gear would appear.
Yeah, okay.
But when I filmed it with two different cameras. So I filmed it one shot with the Nikon Z6, which is me throwing the bag and wiping. Yeah. But then the one I filmed of the gear was with the D750 because I wanted to have my Z6 in that shot.
I was going to ask about that.
And when I put them together and like put the masks over and like masked all the items out, it just looked foreign because of the quality. Because I didn't even think of this when I was filming. I filmed the shot of me in 4K. Yeah. And then I filmed on the D750 in 1080. And it's not a huge difference once you export probably, but when I was editing, it didn't look natural.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about filming that because I was going to say, isn't that your camera in that shot?
Yeah.
How much does that suck to do that?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Did it suck? Yeah, isn't it a weird feeling?
Yeah, and the D750 doesn't have any in-body stabilization. So I had this giant honkin', let me grab it, this 16-35 and this giant D750 on the table with, I grabbed a piece of my, you know those Velcro pieces of your camera bag?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I grabbed one of those and put it on the table so it was slidey.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
I was just like doing shots like that, trying to get it as smooth as possible, slap some warp stabilizer on it. And
make it work.
It was smooth.
Dude, that's the exact same thing. When I did my what's in my bag video, I was like, I wanted to show my cameras, and then I was like, I got to do them one at a time, because I don't know what I'm going to use. Like, how am I going to what am I going to use, my cell phone and then film like the Sony and the Red or whatever? I was like, how is this going to work? This isn't going to work. And I was stressed, man. I was so stressed. So I ended up narrowing it down to just one camera at a time.
But then I was thinking, do I do this in the style of like some YouTube vlogger? Like, do I actually sit down and talk to the camera and tell people what's in my bag and why?
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was the right move for 30 dailies, so I just stuck with something more cinematic.
Yeah, I feel that. And I feel like you could always find something else to do like that too. Or come up or do it or explain the camera system you're using or something, right?
Yeah. And talking to the camera is hard, so I'll avoid that.
Dude, talking to the camera is the worst. How do you...
The first video I made,
yeah.
I think I had a final version 6 times.
Man.
Because I hated how
just like filming yourself is like one of the worst movements of torture in the world. Like, I hate doing it. It's
when you're just staring into
so
the
much,
black lens of abyss and
by yourself
with lights pointed at you in the bedroom. Like,
that's how it almost feels right now, except I have you on here and we're both doing it together. I find that the live stream, my
roommates are laughing at me
yeah, they
know what it looks like in here.
Yeah, they're probably like, Jesus. Yeah, you should see, like, I got this big light over here, a camera, like another monitor, 2 like I got the whole system going on, but like the picture looks great. It looks nice and clean, right? But
yeah, I only have this small little space. We've got a full house, so this bedroom is pretty much what I have for my space. And one of our roommates just went back to Calgary because of everything. So we've been using his room as a yoga studio and a filming studio.
What have you been doing yourself mentally to stay sane during all this outside of the daily 30s, per se?
Having a routine. Like, actually waking up in the morning and like eating a good breakfast, drinking coffee like I usually do, having showers like I usually do, except for last week our water heater decided to quit. So that sucked for a while.
Terrible timing.
Yeah. But yeah, just having a routine and just trying to stay on top of what I need to do rather than laying around and procrastinating. I think that's really easy habit to fall into when you're just at home.
It's too easy. That's what I'm doing right now. That's exactly why I'm doing drinking beer, Joel says. I'm assuming that's Joel. Village Ho 420. Yes. Beer. Okay. Yeah. I don't even know. I've been sitting here staring at this because I'm thirsty, but I wanted to say something about it. Zach said it's National Beer Day today.
It is National Beer Day. Apparently only celebrated in the United States, but whatever.
We're close enough. I don't have any beer, but I do have a Caesar. I happen to have this one. I'm gluten intolerant as well, so I don't drink a whole lot of beer. I mean, I do here and there, but I usually don't. I'm kind of a vodka guy, actually.
Sorry for you. Yeah,
I know,
I'm
sorry, man. I know, it's just it's smooth, you know? Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Have a little drink, end of the day. That's kind of like the cool part about the live stream is that it's just relaxed. Just hang out and talk. Like, not a lot of structure or anything, you know?
I was definitely like a little nervous about this. I didn't know what to expect from the live
stream. I wanted to ask you about that.
Because it's kind of like talking to a camera, but then once you start getting that actual human connection and conversation, it's quite nice.
And I found that like
doing so much of this stuff with work, like it's all been meetings.
So you've been doing your meetings online too, right?
Yeah.
Nice. I know you kind of just have to forget. Like, it even took me a second when I sat down. Very intimidating, like the light and everything. Like you said, looking at a camera and like. I'm so used to editing everything, so to not be able to edit something and check something, like people are watching right now, and like I don't know what I look like unless I look over here or like over here. But then like I notice if I look at myself, I look even weirder because you can see me like looking around like anxiously. So I try to get over that. But once I kind of like zoom in to just like focus on your face and the conversation we're having, everything else disappears, and that's what I really like about live streaming, and that's what I'm hoping to get more comfortable with too, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think the 30 dailies that you decided to do is great right now, just because we are lacking that human connection. Well, lots of people are because they're not getting out of the house, and even it just provides that conversation that you would usually get that you're not getting right now.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought was kind of good, and that's why we're also doing like a community podcast kind of idea. I know I brought that up to you the other day. I think we're looking for a name right now, because we were originally going to call that Censored Live, but then I was like, I like the idea of Censored Live so much that I don't want it to just be like one specific thing. So the idea is that Censored Live is like a channel that will host like multiple different TV shows. So I can host some shows on it, do whatever I want, like kind of my thing. I can talk to you, do whatever, but we can run a podcast, and I could play games, and maybe you're like, yo, Kurt, I have this live stream idea. Do you want to do it? And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. Like I have a place that's all set up that we can do something like that for. So that was the idea with that. But
I think
live
honestly,
stream's just weird.
I think that there's a lot of potential with this kind of stuff, live streams and podcasts, and being sort of an influencer. I hate that word, but like it's true.
Yeah, I hate that.
You just have to be persistent and provide people with actual conversation and content that is worthwhile for them to listen to, and you're going to get noticed. Right?
Totally. Yeah, well, that's...
Which I think is why the 30 Dailies took off so well, because it was such a good concept.
Yeah, exactly.
That,
and it was nice, like shifting your focus from being like, what's going to get, like, some people are going out there being like, hey, what can I make that's going to get me views? Like, I want to get views. I want to have followers and all this stuff. I think what really worked for me and my happiness was tossing that out the door and starting to be like, what community can I add my value to? And that's where I've changed everything kind of over this last year. And that's actually like 30 Dailies was probably like the biggest change for me, honestly, because I started connecting with a lot of other people that say had followed me, or even had like looked out to me and been like, yo, your videos are awesome. Like I want to do video. I never really considered or like thought too much about something like that before. Or you never really think that you're in a position to do that, because I'm sure like you don't think that you are, but you're here and you're probably inspiring people as well to do what they want to do and make content. You're inspiring me to do this 30-day challenge right now. If you weren't doing it, there's no way I would have done it.
Well, I even saw that to Austin Hickle is doing it, and then some other guy on Instagram. I'm gonna
Daniel.
Daniel.
Daniel's doing it. Yeah, Daniel's my homie from Calgary.
A couple days ago.
Yeah, he tried it previously in the past and did not finish it. Can't remember what he got to, but he said it was just busy and the usual.
Which can't beat yourself up about.
No, it's happened. I mean, I didn't finish the last one that I was doing either. It just shit happens, right? It's not the end all be all. You're in it for yourself. It's not a failure. I think you look back at it, and this is why I really wanted to do it again and conquer it this time, is because I didn't do it last time, and I was like, you know what, I need to finish.
I think it's good that you're changing up the format of what you've done.
Yeah. I just want something new. I want to push myself. I don't want to do the same thing and just do the grind of like the no sleep grind, the no sleep
I'm trying
to
avoid.
Yeah, avoid it.
I want to do this because I've heard you talk about your no sleep grind, and I want to avoid doing this challenge and hating my life doing it. I want to do this challenge, create cool things, and have good sleeps while I do it.
Exactly. And any advice that I have towards that is less distractions, no drinking. Or not no drinking, no getting drunk, and being hungover, partying. I did really, really good, and then I partied a couple times, and there was a few weekends of zero sleep and still creating videos, going at it. And I was filming show content, so that means like we were filming till 2 or 3, and then trying to hang out after, going back to the Airbnb while drinking, and just doing it like hella late, like editing from 5 till 9 a.m. just to get something out, right? That sucks. So as much as you can stay off that train, so that's discipline, man. That's like self-discipline. I completely lacked it. I fell for the fun trap, and that's like the one thing about right now why I was like, I really wanted to commit to this, because we just don't have those distractions. So rather than, since we don't have those distractions, I thought this would be a really good time to try to dive in and do it. And really see where it could go, rather than kind of being held back a little bit. But Chris is in the chat. CV Cine, he says, should I start, lads? Chris, you should 100% start.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should definitely hop on this. I don't know.
What else are you doing?
Yeah. He said, Zomboy weekend took years off our lives. Oh my God. We went to Calgary, Edmonton, went to Edmonton, shot Zomboy, had a 4 p.m. checkout time. I think we went to bed at like noon or something like that. I don't know. It was ridiculous. And then tried to drive home. Not fun. Not fun. But yeah, I don't know. I like the live stream. I think it's gonna be fun. Something new. Just trying to switch it up. You know, learning something new, diving into something exciting, something fun.
And I think live streams provide it's almost like the practice that you need to make a good podcast, because you get more comfortable about talking to a microphone and chatting with someone.
Exactly.
And then, you know, it's just kind of putting it out there. Whereas a podcast, you want to have, you know, questions, and you want to have your topics ready, and then it's the actual filming of it, or the recording. And then you edit the audio and put it out. Whereas a live stream is kind of just, you go for it.
It's just all live. That's what I like about it. I just like the pressure too, though. I'm a procrastinator, and I like that, like, just that piece of pressure that comes in where it's like, damn, I need to do this now, you know? So that's what I like about the live stream, not the podcast. Yeah. So I don't know. I think we're going to like cut sections of the live stream stuff up, repurpose it for other content, just see how it goes. But mainly, like, and I think the thing that I'm most excited about is just staying connected with people and like having conversations and like keeping my mind sharp and like in the game, just in like a different way. Right. Yeah. 'Cause I bet you and I, you know, I would say we're friends. We probably wouldn't have talked a whole lot otherwise without everything going on. We see each other every once in a while when we go out and about, and we wanted to shoot stuff together for a while, which we're definitely going to have to do now for this 30 dailies thing. So we should come up with an idea, obviously a safe idea, but we should do something together. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'd love to do one during this challenge.
Yeah. Let's think of ideas. We can probably come up with something pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been chatting with Johnny Corthius, because he's wanting to also do something kind of sweet. So
yeah, absolutely.
With him, it was actually surprising how many people had reached out to me, because after only like 4 videos, being like, we need to make a video.
Dude,
like,
it's this. Now do you know why I was pushing you so hard before to do it?
Oh yeah.
When you were second guessing, I was like, dude, just do it. Trust me. Like, it's so hard to explain because there's so many different things that go on with it. But like, no, I'm so stoked you're doing it, man. It's gonna be fun to watch. On that note, though, I want to have you back, and we'll do a podcast or I'm saying podcast. We'll do a live stream like this again when you're finished. Or when you're almost finished, or like your last day or something, and I want to talk and see like what has changed and like how far you've come, and like, you know, show some of your stuff in the beginning to like what you're making at the end.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
I think it's gonna be really cool. Other than that, continue to work hard, stay disciplined, motivated, safe, obviously. Make sure you get your business work finished.
Oh yeah.
That's always the priority. But
yeah, that's priority number 1, and then fun comes after that. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I would say too, advice is like, if you're struggling with like what you're going to make, use the resources that you have with you that is like readily available right in front of you. Even if that's something from work, you know?
Yeah.
And I think even like a day in the life of working, or a meeting in quarantine, or like how you're adjusting or something, like I would like to see, you know, how you guys are operating the business and how all that's working right now.
Yeah.
Too. I think that's pretty sweet.
And just as a, you know, a question for another marketer, would you like to see more like a local person giving marketing advice to people that you know, might not have that information available to them? Because absolutely, that's one of the biggest things of London Road Media, where I'm working, is our CEO Lane. He's very, very generous with his advice and what you should do with your marketing. And, you know, if a person decides to sign with us, then, you know, we're going to do great work for you, but we're not going to keep our secrets from you.
Totally.
You can also do that work. So
totally.
I've been thinking about putting out some, you know, advice videos and how to use these tools. And
absolutely. We should, you should hop on the like community podcast live stream idea that we have.
Yeah.
I think Brady came up with the idea. I think we might call it Connect.
Sweet. I like that.
Uncensored live Connect, and then it's more just like a community thing, so we can have, you know, random people come on, chat random shit. And obviously we want to do one that's a little bit marketing geared, and you would be perfect to have on there. So
sweet, man.
We should plan that out.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, yeah, keep it working hard. Thanks for coming on here and chatting with me. This is fun. I had no idea how this was going to work and how to like show your video, and thanks to the 6 people who tuned into us.
Yeah.
No, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it.
Shout out to all my fans.
Yeah, all the fans, all the friends. The people that are watching this are people that are fucking awesome, though. Yeah. that shit makes me feel warm and nice inside, right? Like, that's cool.
Big time. Yeah.
Well,
fun that you do, you get more views. I
mean, like, I don't even care about the views. The way I'm looking at it is like, the conversation's good even if no one watches it. If no one ever watched it, I think it's good, and I think it's therapeutic for probably both of us right now, to learn a lot, share information, just stay in touch, also just like have that connection, that friendship, like, first and foremost. But no, I think it's cool, right?
Yeah, well, and it's nice to chat with you, not getting blasted by PK sound. So.
Yeah, a little bit of a different environment.
Yeah. Can
you say quality content?
You and I really see each other are at those Forte nights.
I know.
Having a good time. So.
Yeah, Shambhala. Well, that's gonna have to change, man. We're gonna have to hang out more.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I know we say that all the time, but I think as both of us kind of narrow down our focuses and spend more time doing video, I think that'll probably end up dragging us closer together. So
absolutely,
I am down for that, and we're definitely going to have you back on here. But I appreciate you coming on. Thanks for the chat. This was really fun. Thanks to everyone again for watching. This is pretty sweet. We'll pull some highlights. We'll post these online. I guess that's kind of the important part for me. You know, I don't think that we're going to get lots of people watching the live stream, but like I said before, it's kind of like the live stream is also is kind of like the filming of any other project. So now we kind of pull that, share the information wherever, and hopefully we can help some people learn and, I don't know, inspire someone maybe, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, I'm stoked to watch the rest of your stuff.
Anyone thinking about doing 30 dailies right now, just do it. Just, what else are you doing? You're not doing anything. Stop saying that you're bored on the couch. Just do something. Do 30 dailies. Yeah,
exactly. Get on here, do it. We're all in the same position. I'd love to see more of those backyard videos and shit like that. Like the video of you with the cats. Like, that was cool, man. I really appreciate that. I think people can tell when you work with minimal and you make something really good versus the other way around. That's what I noticed anyway. I was super impressed by something like that because I know you're just working with what you have. And that's almost the most impressive. Like, if you set up a full scene, I mean, anyone can hopefully make something semi-decent, right? But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to make something out of nothing. That's kind of the most exciting part.
And I think that's what, 75% of this challenge is going to be, is just coming from nothing. So. Yeah,
literally.
Just cool.
All right, man. Well, that was awesome. I'm going to end the stream now. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks for tuning in. See ya.